Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Season 7, Co-Creation Station. This is the podcast where we talk about the law of attraction, the art of allowing, spiritual magic, the mind-body-spirit connection, and how to best enjoy this mystical, miraculous, mysterious, crazy, sometimes confounding, but always incredible journey we call life. My name is Collin. I'm located in beautiful, sunny North Hollywood, California.
My name is Stephanie. I am a transformational life coach and I help people shift away from negative thinking. And I'm in San Diego, California.
Thank you so much for listening or watching or both to this, the inaugural episode of Season 7 as we embark on our new journey here. We do just want to let you know, as always, that we mention some names pretty regularly on the show here. Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks. If those names do not sound familiar to you, Esther Hicks is a speaker and author who channels someone called Abraham. Abraham is described as a group of entities from beyond our physical world who share their wisdom by speaking through Esther at workshops and speaking opportunities around the world. You can find out more about them by searching for them on your web search engine, whatever that may be, or YouTube, if you're watching us here on YouTube. And you can also find out more at their website, abraham-hicks.com. Each week, we start our discussion off from a different jumping off point, and we're going to keep that the same in Season 7. We're going to keep doing it the same way. It seems to be a winning formula. So this week, Stephanie, you have our jumping off point.
Yeah, what if we believed in the inevitable success of it, whatever it may be for you?
Well, everything would go great.
What?
End of episode.
What,
Thanks to everybody. It was great.
what if we what if we believed in the inevitable success of it?
Yeah. Right, because that's, I mean, I hate to keep going back to this metaphor, but it's the ordering things on Amazon thing. You know, it's like when you order something on Amazon, there is a chance it won't show up. I had an order once that didn't show up, but I still, even that one experience doesn't ever convince me to not have total faith that the next package is coming. And I order the thing, I don't check on it. I mean, Amazon sends me update emails, but I don't even worry about those.
Yeah.
I just trust that it's coming. And it's interesting because once you learn about how the law of attraction works and how you can use the art of allowing to work with it to your benefit, it's I mean, it's scary, but it's really that's as a concept, it's that simple. It's like if we could just have confidence, like, well, of course this is going to work out. Of course I'm going to get that apartment that I've been wanting. Of course my, the partnership, the happy partnership that I'm going to want is going to show up in any
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Then it shows up.
Yeah,
It
right?
literally does
Like
that.
you
Like
were
the problem is
saying,
not the thing or the person or the relationship or the apartment.
yeah,
It's all right here in our thinking, in
like
our vibration.
you've said here multiple times how there are so many things that you get that you want, in the sense of you're like, I see this thing and I'm like, oh, that would be cool to have. Never thinking about it again. And then a week
Yes.
later you're holding it in your hands.
Yes. The weirdest thing, the small sort of side road for just a second, because was so weird to me.
Hey, we love going down side roads. Come
We
on.
do. I was playing Dungeons and Dragons, as I do now, a lot.
Do you do that? Really?
I do, yes. It's slowly taking over my life completely. Um, but we were fighting the group that I was with. We were in the fictional D&D world. We were fighting a Minotaur, which is this. It's like a mythical creature. It's like the head of a bull and the body of a big, strong human, and it was attacking our group. So we were fighting it, and somebody made a joke or something about, and it was like so quick and so throwaway and so random, but they said something about like they made a joke of like, oh well, is there a chance that somewhere along the line my character picked up a piece of red cloth and I can pull it out and just start running away so that the Minotaur like follows me, referencing Spanish bullfighting in the real world, which has nothing to do with Minotaurs or D&D or anything else. So we all had a little chuckle over it, and literally that was the end of the moment, like the end of the moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a random, like I was just thinking like that was funny, but what a random thing to say in a D&D game, like to come up with the whole. Literally like an hour later, I'm walking by a television set in a public place, like a business where they have a big screen TV on. And I literally just walked by the TV and I glance at it. I'm not even gonna watch it. I
Yeah,
just it's one of those
yeah,
things like you're walking by, you notice it, you look, and
yeah.
then you go on with your life. And I swear to God, I look up, and there I have caught 2 seconds of some TV commercial,
Uh-huh.
and it is a Spanish matador with a red, cloth, and a bull comes straight at him.
Oh my God,
And
I
I
love
was like,
it.
that is the lot, because I mean, I had no belief, I had no negative belief in the way of like when I had fun laughing at the
Yeah,
red
yeah,
red cloth
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
There was no resistance, and and
No,
so
no.
like attracts like. It's like the universe just was like more things about a bull than
Yep.
a matador.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
man, if it can be that, that's what we got to get to.
It's not if it can be, it
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is that fast.
It can be like it can feel like magic, like just bam, you just have it.
And
But like,
it's
but we have these negative beliefs that like, oh, but getting an actual car that I want is
yeah.
way harder than that. And it's like,
Or
nope.
as in last week's $1 billion. A
Yeah,
billion, we
yeah,
have
yeah,
this I have this belief, a lot of us do. Oh, $1 billion is super hard. Like I have to work really hard and I have to
yeah,
figure out and the story.
yeah,
And it's like, no, no, we don't. Like this
yeah.
I love when Abraham says, it's as easy to create a castle as it is a button. They are two different intentions, use the same process to two different intentions. And I still am, wrapping my head around that one, like, um, to think like, oh, it's as easy to manifest $10,000 as it is $5. Like, what? And
Well,
it's
and the thing, I'm jumping all over the place a little bit here, but there's a story.
it's okay. We like to jump around. Jump,
Yes.
jump around.
That was a wonderful 3 second rendition of the classic hip hop hit "Jump Around" by Criss Cross. I want
Jump,
to
jump.
salute you for that. Yeah, now I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh, there's a guy named Sam Bankman-Fried who's been in the news, and the short version of his story is he started this company called FTX, which was a cryptocurrency exchange. Don't need to go into the details of it. It became wildly successful pretty much overnight, and it does not have a happy ending. It ends up he I feel like he's one of these like people, and there's other people like out in in our American society that you find out about or like this. He has this amazing ability to attract, but then he also has something in his vibration about how he can't keep it and he has to lose it all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, his company. I mean, I wish I actually had the data, but there's a bunch of there's 2 new books that just came out about his whole thing. He's currently on trial for his like the losing side, but I mean, literally, he started a company and like it was something like within 4 years, he was worth $22.5 billion,
Oh shit,
and
billion.
he could have that could have been legit. If you know this, if you're listening to this or watching this, you know the story. Yes, he then committed crimes, it looks like, and he lost it. But I mean, that could have been legitimate things. And that just shows you like he had a vibration
Yeah.
that's just like billions are easy, you know?
Yes.
Billions are easy. And it's like I'm listening to the audiobook of one of the 2 books that's come out about him, and I'm just thinking, and the author has interviewed him several times, is talking about, and we talked in the final episode of last season about confidence, and like Sam Bankman-Fried would just talk to this author, again before all the debacle happened,
Yeah, yeah.
but just like, yeah, I think probably next year I'll be worth 100 billion, and I definitely I want to do this, I want to do that, and like and it's just like, meanwhile, so many of us on this planet are like, somebody says, oh, you should, this is, this, you should think about getting a new car maybe. And you're like, oh, I can't afford that. $23,000. I can't afford that.
So that's so that so
It's like,
that right there is where this is where the whole art of allowing comes in, and I get to
yeah,
unravel my beliefs and about what I've been taught and how I think things really are, which is, a lot of BS. And it's like, yeah, oh, okay, I'd like that. All right, universe, how you gonna do that one? Show me. And then go about my day. Start to have, I can start to have, let's like say the car. I can start to have the same feeling about the car as I do about winning stuff on the radio,
Yeah.
or finding that shaded parking spot in the summertime for nibbles, just like, yeah, of course it's going to show up. Let me just go have fun, or appreciate in this moment the beautiful blue sky and the clouds, it is really that simple. And what just flashed in my head is that car around, that's parked around the corner, um, on some grass, that the license plate says, "Easy did it."
Nice. That's so good. So good.
Because I'm not the one doing it. I'm not the one that did any of those things. I allowed it in, I attracted it in. But I wasn't doing it. It was all, the law of attraction responding to my confidence that, oh yeah, I could win that thing. Like those Zach Brown tickets, when I didn't think they were coming to town, and then 3 months later I hear they're coming to town, and I'm like super excited. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna win. And I'm doing everything to stay on the radio and listen, and I get home and I tell Lou, Doc Brown's coming, I'm gonna win tickets. He's like, no, you're not. like, like it literally, it didn't even go in one ear out the other. It just bounced
Yeah.
right off me. It didn't even
Doink.
my energy was like, we're going, I'm going, he's coming, I'm so happy, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
And then we're in the backyard, and that was when we still had a landline. So I had my cell phone in one hand, I had the house phone in my other, and he's out doing yard work and I'm out there too, and the radio's blasted, and it's about time for them to say it. I start dialing. I'm like talking to someone, and I'm looking at him, and his face drops because I'm like,
Yeah.
she just picks up the phone, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, am I the winner? She's like,
Well, that's the thing about
oh,
belief that really, really kind of irks me sometimes when I think about it, because we've all, I mean, I think I can say with confidence, we've all had this experience at some point in our lives, at least once, where we believe something with absolute certainty, and then we found out we were wrong, right? And yet we cling to some of these, even though we've had that experience, like I believe that thing, and then it turned out to be totally not the case. We still latch on to so many of these negative beliefs, and we are just convinced they're incontrovertible. They must be true. There's no way I can afford a fill in the blank car. There's no way that a romantic partner of fill in the blank would ever want me or is actually out there for me. And we just believe these things, and we just don't understand sometimes that, like, that it's almost like we're making a decision of how our universe is going to work. It's like, well,
and
my universe,
we literally
yeah, I mean,
are.
that is the practical result of that is that,
Yeah,
but it's just sort
yeah,
of like we think that falsely that it's the universe imposing those beliefs on us.
yeah, yeah.
But as you always remind me, and it's been a tough thing to like really sort of accept, I think, that the universe is just, the law of attraction is not a person going, well, you did the art of allowing really well today, so I'm going to give you extra or whatever. It is literally just a law of the universe. It's like, if you have a negative vibration, it just like attracts like, you attract negative stuff. If you have a positive vibration, it's like on like, you attract positive stuff. It is literally that simple. And sometimes I think, like, I'll have these arguments with, what I think of as higher power, like, gosh dang it, that's just not fair. Like, it's so hard. And the reality is, it's a simple as F concept.
I know, isn't it?
It's like,
It blows my mind sometimes when I'm oh my
all
God,
you
this
have to
game of
do
life is like super easy and simple, and we
is
complicate
focus
the
on the
F
stuff you
out
would
of it.
already focus on, and
Oh,
instead of having a negative belief around it, just have the expectation that will absolutely work out great. And that's all you
that's
have to
what
do. That
happens.
is literally all you have to do.
So let's all just play this game. Let's just expect good stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Let's just expect that we're going to get what we want eventually. It's going to come about, and then just go about your life and have as
Yeah.
much fun as you can, feel as good as you can, focus,
Yeah.
whatever makes you feel good. Just think about those things and just watch what happens. Like, what do we have to lose by doing that? I mean, that's like my new thing now, is like, why can't I just believe that it's inevitable and then go about my life? Like,
Yeah.
like it'll
I love
eventually
that.
show up.
I found a video on YouTube recently, which people can find for themselves. I think it's Matthew McConaughey gives dating advice,
That was so good. Thank you for
and
sending
yeah,
that.
I was really. I was gonna say I don't know why I clicked on that. I know exactly why I clicked on that. Don't lie to yourself and the audience, Collin. It's rude. It's
It
rude.
was a great one, by the way. You were in a good vibration to attract that video.
But I love how so he talked about the interviewer asked him, what date, you're in a happy, successful relationship right now. You're really happy. Your partner's really happy. What advice do you have for other people to try to get that? And his thing was that when he was, I love how he talked. It's like Matthew McConaughey is like one of the most wealthy, physically attractive, charming dudes we know. And he was literally like, I'm in the grocery store, I'm looking at this attractive woman, wondering if it's her. I'm in the parking lot, I see another one, I wonder if it's her.
I'm stopped at a red light and I'm
I'm at a
looking
red
around
light, I
like,
turn
is
over,
that her? Is that her?
and what he was so, I'm paraphrasing, but what he was so aware of is like behind that desire, or with that desire, was also a fear that it wouldn't happen. And he had this experience where he went into like a deep meditation or something, and he got in touch with this image of himself, this very clear image of himself as like an 88-year-old man who never found the perfect partner and was still happy anyway. And the freedom of that, and not that he shouldn't want a partner, but that the fear of not getting it and the belief of not getting it was continually making it not happen. And once he just had that experience of visualizing himself of like, what if I turn 88 and I never met the one, and I never met someone I could call a soulmate, and we never got together, but I had a great life anyway and I'm super happy, what would that be like? And he said from that point on, he didn't walk around with this, is it her? Is it her? When's it going to happen? Who's it going to be? And then very soon after that, he met, the love of his life. And I think a lot of people could tell that story. I mean, I've had that experience. One of my more successful relationships, I've told you this story. I may have told it on the pod before. Like, I had gotten on Tinder in a moment of that negative desperation energy, and I set up 3 dates with 3 different women in about a week's time. First dates, coffees, but then I realized once all the dates were set up, like, oh, I got on Tinder with the wrong vibration. And I set up these dates with the wrong vibration. I set them up with like, I want a girlfriend. What if I don't get a girlfriend? And I'm like, that's not going to work. I was just aware of it. But I had set up these dates. I'm a Virgo, so I always go to the appointments that I make with other people, which is very unusual in Los Angeles, by the way. But I was like, all right, I'm just going to go on these dates. I'm going to be polite and open and friendly and whatever. But I knew it wasn't anything against the other people. But I had this idea of like, well, these people aren't going to be matches, because when I went on Tinder, I had this desperate thing. So I'm going to attract people that aren't going to work out. So I went on the first two. They were both very pleasant, perfectly friendly, nice people, and didn't feel a connection. They didn't feel it either. And I remember I was about to go on the third date, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm about to get this over with. What a mistake I made going on Tinder. And I literally wasn't thinking about the first date or getting into a relationship or Tinder. And I was like, literally, if you talked to me at that point, a couple days before this third first date, I wouldn't have mentioned it. I literally wouldn't have mentioned it. It wasn't even on my radar screen. And I just went to the coffee shop, and I literally was thinking about it like a dentist appointment or something, like, yep, just got to get the teeth cleaned and then I'm off to my thing. And that's when I met, when I had none of that, like, oh, what if it's not her? What if it is her?
None of that resistance.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, I got a match, and it's like, fancy that. So
that's cute. Yeah, the resistance. Yeah, and I think it is the softening of the resistance, noticing, like I was saying in last week's episode, when your sister called me and she asked me a question about a particular thing in my life, and I go, how's it going? I go, okay, and just went
Yeah.
on to another subject.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I've actually had situations where, a subject came up and then I went on to tell a friend, and I'm going on and on, and the whole while I'm feeling awful. And it's funny because I remember thinking, I'd leave and I go, why did I feel so awful? And I could never understand exactly why. I thought it was because, well, I'm not getting what I want. But it was really, it took me a long time to realize this. And sometimes I still have to remember it, is that, oh, because I'm talking about what I don't want. And that's why I feel
Yeah.
bad. Period.
Yeah.
Because I'm out of alignment with what I want. I'm out of alignment with what my inner beings focus on. My inner beings only ever focus on what all my positive requests. And that's what my emotions are telling me. Either I'm feeling good or I'm not feeling good. And it's because of what I'm thinking about. And if I think about what I don't want, I'm going to feel bad every time. Period. All right,
Great
everybody. Well, that was
discussion.
fun.
We're off and running with season 7. First one is in the books. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on this episode. We really appreciate you listening and or watching to and or watching us. Remember, we are posting a brand new episode for you at this time, at least here in October of 2023. New episode every Monday morning for you. We truly appreciate you doing whatever your platform that you're consuming us on allows you to do to support us. All our links and email address and all that are down in the doodly-doo of the YouTube version down below. We wish you a happy and abundant week, and we look forward to you joining us again on the next episode, Season 7, Episode 2 of Co-Creation Station. Bye, everybody.
Bye.